ball a lot of that.
I reckon they're going to do it, are they?
They're getting Kerry at the right time. Kerry are vulnerable. They have poor support here today in Croke Park. But remember, they have 3 of the top 10 forwards in Declan O'Sullivan, Gooch and Danny. And if they can break equal around the middle of the field and get the ball into them, they'll win.
It's Kerry versus Down for the first spot in this year's All-Ireland football semi-finals. Back to Marty and Martin.
Thank you very much, Michael. It's hard to believe, actually, that it is only their 5th championship clash. They've met in 2 All-Ireland finals, 2 All-Ireland semi-finals going back to 1960. The man in charge is Joe McQuillan from Kilshamrocks in County Cavan. Down won the toss and they're playing from left to right. In other words, from the Hill 16 down towards the Davin stand or the Canal end, if you're more of a traditionalist. So let's see what Down are made of. Let's see what Kerry are made of, considering that they're missing 6 of last year's All-Ireland winning side. No Diarmuid Murphy, no Ty Kennelly, no Tommy Walsh, Dara O'Shea, gone. Tomas O'Shea, Paul Galvin, at the moment suspended. So it's going to be a big test. And we'll find out exactly the calibre and the character of both of these teams. Mike McCarthy has it down towards Micheál Quirk. And the down midfield is quite a strong combination. Ball inside. It's a chance for Poland. It's the back of the net. Mark Poland. An incredible start for the men from Ulster. Scoring his first goal in the championship of 2010. He's already notched 13 points. But this is a cracking goal. And Brendan Keeley was left totally exposed.
Well, we were speaking about the Kerry midfield early on. That time Micheál Quirk was absolutely indecisive when he got the ball. A lovely interception then and a good transfer to Mark Poland. Took his chance, kept his nerve. Great start for Down.
Well, having spoken and met several of the Down players during this past week, they're really up for it. They really feel that they can produce the shock of the 2010 championship. It's an absolutely stunning start. Less than a minute, Mark Poland back of the net. Declan O'Sullivan has been outstanding in the Munster Championship campaign with 7 points to his credit. This is dropping in for the goalkeeper. And there underneath it is Colm Cooper. You shouldn't be dropping balls around him. Back outside first, Brian Sheehan. Half stopped, half blocked. Better hands this time from Brendan McVeigh. But a nervous start by the Down keeper. And a goal conceded by the other keeper at the other end. Long ball down towards Brendan Coulter. Going back to gather it is Mike McCarthy. Still Coulter. Picked up an ankle injury today week, but he's now fully recovered. Aidan O'Mahony. Micheál Quirk, terrible ball. Downer chasing everything. Oh, lovely little chip. Lovely little pick-up. Has created a space and it has created a point. What a start by the men from the county where the Mourne Mountains dominate. Benny Coulter with a point.
Yeah, again, Pat was speaking early on about the Kerry tendency to hand pass. You hand pass in your back line on a day like this. Just going back to the other side, just watch for a minute. Again, wonderful anticipation by Cooper that time from a mistake by Brendan McVeigh. But on the other side again, that was a huge mistake by Micheál Quirk, allowing Benny Coulter in for a point.
Passing and putting it into the chest and safe hands is going to be vital, because it really is very foggy and very misty here from our position up on the 7th floor of the Hogan stand. But down at ground level, the mist is going to make the Croke Park pitch just that little bit difficult for the footballers. Going across here is Tom O'Sullivan. It is debut for Kerry 10 years ago. Great pressure again, this time by Paul McComiskey. And the left half forwards from Dundrum has put the pressure on man of the match of last year's All-Ireland final. I can assure you one thing about the men of County Down, and I'm sure, Martin, you'll agree with me. They have respect for Kerry, but they have no fear of Kerry.
Oh, none whatsoever. I mean, they have history on their side, the fact that they have beaten Kerry in every championship game they've played against them. But they've had this full-on start today, full of energy, loads of enthusiasm, showing no respect whatsoever, just going at Kerry, and has suited them to the ground.
This is the Down captain, Ambrose Rogers. Scored a goal and 3 points so far in the championship. He's hit this sweetly. A goal and a point from play, and a point from a 45. You couldn't ask for better.
Yeah, but you remember going back to the Tyrone game, it was very similar to this. Against Tyrone, they went something like 6 points to 1 up after 10 minutes, and they fell away very badly once Tyrone got a foothold in the game. So today, the onus is on them to stay in it and to remain consistent.
Kick out by Brendan Keeley. Loose ball. You note that Brian Sheehan is playing a Paul Galvin role, in the sense that he's operating around the midfield area, trying to pick up any loose breaking ball. Nice footwork indeed by Mark O'Shea. Here's Brian Sheehan. O'Shea is there to gather it up. Declan O'Sullivan, Micheál Quirk, Donncha Walsh. There's Mike McCarthy, goes for the long ball down towards the star. Donaghy and Dan Gordon is going to be an interesting clash. Back outside to Brian Sheehan to steady the ship. The ball is sent wide.
Yeah, one of the issues actually you might look at today is the fact that Kerry have been out of football for the last 3 to 4 weeks since their victory over Limerick in the Munster final. They're maybe that little bit rusty, whereas Down have had games against Sligo last weekend, against Longford and against Offaly, and their sharpness is that little bit better than Kerry's is at the moment.
That goes back to the argument, Martin, of course, of the advantage of the qualifiers against the provincial championships. Anyway, we concentrate on the live action. This is the manager's brother, Daniel McCartan. Goal scorer Mark Poland. Back to McCartan again. Poland from Longstone. Off the panel for a number of seasons, but started in the Ulster Championship against Donegal. Aidan O'Mahony, Micheál Quirk. Made a huge impact, as we said in our scene set, when introduced against Limerick, and upset the Jim O'Donovan, John Galvin axis that Limerick had at centre field. Ball is floated into space. Micheál Quirk has gotten away from his direct opponent, Caleb King. Tried to send it into the star. Ball is sent inside, and the goalkeeper, Brendan McVeigh, has come off his goal line. Hit a fair shoulder, hit out over the end line. 45. Good work by Brian Sheehan.
Yeah, lesson there for any forward. Go in and put pressure on the goalkeeper. Sheehan did that legally that time, shoulder to shoulder, perfectly legitimate, forced the 45. Just tactically, it's interesting to watch the role actually at the moment of Kevin McKernan, the centre half back for Down. He's playing in front of his full back line, drifting back, is something that Down have adopted all year, now all of the games I've seen them playing.
And Kerry are playing a two-man full forward line, just the Gooch and the star, Colin Cooper and Kieran Donaghy.
Yeah, but by playing McKernan back there, he's double teaming Kieran Donaghy.
So you know the game plan at the moment. Let's see what develops. Here's Brian Sheehan. 2 goals and 16 points in the Munster Championship in 2010. It's his first free of the afternoon. It's his second attempt at scoring, and it's his second wide. Down injured is Declan O'Sullivan, just getting some medical attention. Just an ankle problem that needs obviously some care. We continue on with the live action again. This is Conor Garvey from Mayo Bridge. Into the centre. Going long. Mark O'Shea. Aidan O'Mahony. Down towards Donncha Walsh. Has only managed 1 point in this championship so far, and that was against Tipperary. They're going to feed Kieran Donaghy at every opportunity. The star goes up, and watch what's happening there. As Martin was saying, they are putting an extra man back there. On this occasion, it was Kevin McKernan and Dan Gordon. Watch this guy go. This is Benny Coulter. For years, he literally carried the down attack on his back. He has a bit of assistance this time. Ball inside was not a great one from Martin Clark to his brother John. Wide ball for Down. Declan O'Sullivan looks to be okay. You can see that his clubmate from South Kerry, his boss and manager of this Kerry side, Jack O'Connor, is making sure that his star centre forward is able to continue on.
Yeah, one of the things about the Kerry bench today is a way less formidable than it has been in the past, and a loss of a player like Declan O'Sullivan, were it to happen, would be catastrophic from a Kerry point of view.
Micheál Quirke was fouled. Free for the All-Ireland champions. Brian Sheehan coming out around midfield. Donica Walsh loses control rather easily, and handling and making sure that each pass is going to the chest is vital. Nice ball inside. First touch is good from Mark Poland. Sends it in low. Good defending by Tom O'Sullivan. Ball favours Martin Clark. Quick to lay it off. Inside, far as Paul McComiskey. It's going to sneak inside, is it? The umpire is going for the flag and he's raising it. Yes, a point by Paul McComiskey. Ambrose Rogers a point from a 45. Poland a goal. Brendan Coulter and Paul McCuskey all points from play.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that one. I noticed Tommy Griffin was arguing with the umpire about the validity of that, but it drifted in at the right time, and a very well notched score by Paul McComiskey.
Heading towards the 11th minute of the first half. No score from Kerry. Coming through the middle, Calum King from Bryansford. Benny Coulter. Martin Clark. Back to Coulter once more. Lobbing this in towards Paul McComiskey. Is there a touch by a Kerry man? There is. Goes off the hand of Tom O'Sullivan. Another 45.
Yeah, good defending that time by Tom O'Sullivan to deprive McComiskey of the ball. One of the things I noticed actually about a lot of the balls being sent out to the side, it is skidding off the surface. The ball needs to go in directly to the full forward line rather than be kicked to the wings today, because of the fact that the skiddy surface is going to mean the ball going out over the sideline.
So more or less from the same position as about 5 or 6 minutes ago. We have once more Ambrose Rogers taking a 45. From Longstone, deep in the heart of the Mourns, between Kilkeel and Newcastle. Beautiful part of the country. This one skews off the boot a little bit. Good hands again by Mark O'Shea, cutting across the face of his own goal. Steps by the challenge of Benny Coulter rather easily. Heading from the Cusick to the Hogan stand side, but still no delivery. Now he delivers it. Not a great ball. Knocked away by Micheál Quirke. Down towards Aidan O'Mahony. It's Tommy Griffin actually that knocked it down, and O'Mahony takes it quickly. Here's last year's All-Ireland winning captain, Darren O'Sullivan. 3 down footballers around him. He's forced back into his own half of the field. Tremendous pressure. They really are working their socks off. If they can maintain this, it'll be very impressive by Down. And a huge test for Kerry. Aidan O'Mahony. Seamus Scanlon. Micheál Quirke with a little bit of space. Lays it off inside. They're feeding the gooch. Colm Cooper. Backfires Brian Sheehan. Good combination football. Opening score for Kerry? Not yet. We're heading towards the 13th minute of the first half. And Brian Sheehan is nodding his head in disappointment.
Yeah, again, there was a lovely bit of combined football that time. Again, ball was fed over to Sheehan. He had the time, maybe too much time. Took a shot, but that I think is the third wide of the day. They're trying to maybe come up with a plan B, because the direct ball into Donaghy isn't working. So they're feeding the likes of Cooper on the wing and trying to get Sheehan on the wing also to take shots from there. But so far it ain't working for them.
Micheál Quirke. Declan O'Sullivan. Seamus Scanlon. Darren O'Sullivan. Kieran is going to make the run. Donaghy flipping it inside towards Brian Sheehan in space. He's having a crack, and this time there's absolutely no mistake. It is Kerry's opening score after 13.5 minutes of action.
Yeah, in this case, Dan Gordon very, very loose on Kieran Donaghy, and Donaghy had the vision to pick Sheehan out very easily, and a good score for Kerry to open their account. But Gordon, he's not a natural fullback. He needs to go shoulder to shoulder directly with Donaghy to prevent him from getting primary ball. He didn't do it that time. Down suffered.
Kick out by Brendan McVeigh. Mike McCarthy. Darren O'Sullivan from Glenveigh, Glencoe. under pressure, severe. Declan Rooney and Danny Hughes all back there, but just a little bit over-exuberant on this particular occasion.
Yeah, I think the two of them came in that time. It was an aggressive foul, free in for Sheehan, even though it's at a difficult angle, it's well within his range.
That gives you an idea of how difficult a kick this is for Brian Sheehan. All the way from Cahersiveen, 25-year-old. 3 times an All-Ireland medalist, but very much now part of the starting 15. That needs to curl, and it won't. Some statistics for you. 4 wides for Kerry, just 1 for Down so far. Brendan McVeigh, Kilkeel and South Down, a lovely fishing port. 31 years of age. He's actually the eldest on the team. He's now a regular since 2006 when he took over from Mickey McVeigh. And as Micheál Hertig would say, no relation. Kerry. Declan O'Sullivan. Ball is fouled. At least the Down players fouled the man with the ball. In towards Colm Cooper. Darren O'Sullivan wanted to be laid off quickly. Still the Gooch on the turn, on the scoring sheet for the first time in this All-Ireland quarter-final. You cannot give him a sniff of a score, but he will take it.
Well, just stand back and admire it. Admire that sidestep, getting the ball onto his right foot. Which is his weaker one, you sometimes ask. That's delightful. Great score by Cooper to open his account for the day.
Down have only managed to keep a clean sheet twice. That was against Tyrone and against Sligo. They're going to be facing their biggest test this afternoon. Fine feeling by Micheál Quirk. Laid off by Donncha Walsh. Brian Sheehan pumps it in towards Kieran Donaghy. Dan Garden worth it. Remember, you might remember him playing full forward. He's now back full back. Mark Poland lays it off. Kevin McKernan. Down building slowly. Good work here by John Clark. Back to Poland again. Nice ball, low ball inside. Plenty of Kerry defenders there. One of them is Mike McCarthy. Ball carried a little bit too much for Brian Sheehan. Sideline ball for Down.
It's interesting that you talk about Brian Sheehan playing in a right half-back position at the moment. He's playing very defensively for a guy who's initially picked a corner forward.
That's a poor pass back. And with the result, Kerry almost had possession. Pat McEnany, the linesman at the far side, indicating it's a down ball. Mark Poland is very prominent, so too is Kevin McKernan from the Byrne club. Hits it with power. The umpire is not going for his flag. Ball is wide. Son of Brendan, right corner back in the 1991 team that won the All-Ireland. Kevin, of course, was on the panel that won the All-Ireland minor back in 2005. Slightly worrying times for Kerry, but they've been in this situation before. Cool heads, no panic. Only 18 and a half minutes gone. Micheál Quirk. Presence is becoming more visible. Some interesting information for you. 62% now for Kerry in terms of possession. This ball in towards Colm Cooper. Challenge was an illegal one. Colm Cooper tackled from behind, no question. Referee Joe McQuillan was absolutely right. Here's the challenge again.
Yeah, Dan Gordon had his eye on the ball, in fairness, that time, but came in late on Cooper, came in from the back actually on Colm Cooper, and gives Cooper again to extend his scoring for the day. I think he scored 1 from play already.
No problem for the Dr. Crokes man. His first appearance was in a Division 2 final against Laois 8 years ago. And funny enough, the omens were really significant. He scored a goal within 5 minutes. He's been doing it since, really.
Very much so. What's interesting actually is that Down haven't scored since the 7 minutes, haven't scored in the last 12 minutes, and Kerry have gradually just clawed their way into the game.
Punch down from Ambrose Rogers. Kerry getting a lot of that dirty ball around the middle of the field now. Diagonal ball was aimed at Colm Cooper from Darren O'Sullivan. Well won. Daniel Hughes is back helping out his defence. Good running by Hughes. Kieran Donaghy, as you can see, is chasing after him. Ball into the middle. Doesn't work out. Declan O'Sullivan. Kerry gradually winning the one-to-one battles, particularly around the midfield and around the half-back line area. Helped considerably by the presence of Declan O'Sullivan, Brian Sheehan, Kieran Donaghy. Here's Aidan O'Mahony dropping this in. The goalkeeper has to grab it, and he did really well. He may have made a mistake earlier, but that is very good hands by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, but
the referee has blown his whistle. He's given a free against him, actually.
Yes, what happened there is Kevin McKernan, the centre half back, came in late on Aidan O'Mahony. Just watch Aidan O'Mahony kicking the ball here. Kernan comes through. I think that's a soft enough free, actually. It was late, very good handling by McVeigh that time, but it was deemed a late tackle, and freeing again for Kerry.
It looks a little bit harsh, Martin, doesn't it?
I thought it was a very soft free now, to be honest with you, for Kerry. I thought McKernan went in to actually try and block the kick.
There's the Hill 16 camera giving you a perspective. Easy enough for Colm Cooper. Well, it may have taken them almost 14 minutes to score, but they now have 4 points on the scoreboard. Jack O'Connor can afford to go back to his co-selectors of Eamon Fitzmaurice and Ger O'Keefe. Brendan McVeigh may have to alter his kick-outs a lot more, as Kerry have come to grips with the initial challenge laid down by the down midfield combination of Ambrose Rogers and Calum Kane. Mark O'Shea. You'd think he was playing centre-back or wing-back. Trouble looming for Down. It's the Gooch. It's Colm. It's Donegal Walsh. It's Killian Young. It's the back of the net. But the referee has blown his whistle. Kerry players are protesting. But Joe McQuillan's whistle did sound, and he's indicating that it was a foul pass. And Kerry players are incensed. What had it an underhand?
Well, I thought there was an underhand striking action there. The referee is the important person. He didn't just watch it. I thought there's an underhand striking action that time to Killian Young. Maybe Killian overcarried the ball, but I think the foul was called for the illegal hand pass. Referees decided he deemed it illegal, so it's a free out. Down very lucky that time.
Two decisions that are debatable, to say the least. There's a little bit of protestations going on, and a few players shoving and pushing off camera in the middle of the field. They've now dispersed and gone back into their positions. Just watch this again. Let's see, was this underhand?
That seemed to me to be an underhand striking action.
I have to agree with you.
I thought it looked okay.
Damien Rafferty was the cornerback that got injured in that particular sequence. So maybe Kerry got a soft free earlier, but they were a bit unlucky with that last decision. That intensity that Down started with, well, they have to find it again, rediscover it, because Kerry have matched it. Challenge coming in to Kevin McKernan. He obviously got the word, because Kieran Donaghy was fast in his tracks. Ball is spilled out for Martin Clark on react. Top scorer for Down with a goal and 20 points, in joint 9th position with Colm Cooper. Ball is dropping in. Poland is there again. Donegal Walsh is back there helping out his defence. So too Aidan O'Mahony, looking slim and fit, from Rathmore. Man of the match in the All-Ireland final of 2006 at left half back. Seamus Scanlon, Darren O'Sullivan, back to Donncha Walsh. That's the sort of intensity that Down brought to the table in the initial 10-15 minutes of this game. They need to keep doing it. Here's Brian Sheehan. Every time he gets the ball, he's looking for Kieran Donaghy. Scanlon, half blocked. Donaghy's coming in to bat it down again to Scanlon. Brian Sheehan. You can see that the ball is quite slippy because it's misty in Croke Park. Here's Killian Young. Deprived a goal, deprived a point. On this particular occasion, ball wide. Young Footballer of the Year 3 years ago. Down have not scored, by the way, since the 10th minute of the game. That's 15 minutes without a score. Interesting to note, considering they really started in high gear. Down have settled, found their rhythm.
Well, certainly, and Kerry have won the last 7 kickouts.
Quirk gets a hand to it, comes down to Mike McCarthy. Got a bit of a headache as well as a result of it, Micheál Quirk. Half blocked, McCarthy goes and checks. Good anticipation by Kevin McKernan, he did well, read it well. Feeds the goal scorer Mark Poland. Danny Hughes also doing exactly what Kerry are doing, playing deep and defensively within their own half of the field, trying to regain superiority in that middle sector. Daniel McCarthy, Conor Garvey from Mayo Bridge, fullback in the All-Ireland minor winning team of 2005 that beat Mayo. Ball falls kindly from Martin Clark. Benny Coulter's gone inside. Clark floats one in, more with hope than any confidence. Now, who touched that last? Well, I can assure you, it definitely was Donegal Walsh. He looked at the umpire, was unsure, and consequently, well, he did touch it here, no question.
Well, I think he was undecided that time. He got the penultimate touch on it as well. Wanted to make sure. I think he was in two minds whether to put it back to his goalkeeper or not. But he's working so hard at the moment. He's down on his backline more often than he's up in his attack. He's putting in a huge shift for Kerry today.
Now look at that. Down have not scored for 16 minutes, almost 17. And this is their third 45. Wee James McCarthy, twice an All-Ireland senior football medalist, twice an All-Star. Guided the Queen's University College in Belfast to a Sigerson Cup. Here's a former Australian rules footballer, Martin Clark. He hits it well. Good score. They've hit 2 45s over the bar down. First by Ambrose Rogers, the second by Martin Clark.
Well, he's been a great addition to Down since the return from Australian rules football. I think to date he had scored 1 goal and 20 points in the championship. That's a fabulous score from a 45.
You might recall that he was with Collingwood in Australia for a little while. Huge boost to have him back in the red and black of Down. 50 years, of course, since Down won their first All-Ireland and brought the Sam Maguire across the border. Inside is Benny Coulter, back outside to Clark, difficult enough angle, and he judges it perfectly. 2 points for Martin Clark. So much expected of him, but this is where it really matters. Croke Park for an All-Ireland quarter-final. No question, no doubt, hit it sweetly. Coulter to Clark to a point.
Yeah, again, the genesis of that score came from, I think it was Kirk losing the ball out on the sideline, was tumbled by a good tackle from a Down defender. And from a Down point of view, they'll be very happy with this. They've had very few attacks today, but any time they've come up, they've been very economical. And once again, Marty Clark that time makes sure if it drives the ball over the bar rather than touches it, has started to get into the game.
Ed O'Mahony picked up an injury there as he was involved in that piece of action. First appeared against Clare 6 years ago. Big day for him, of course. 41st championship match today for Jack O'Connor. He's won 3 All-Irelands. He was the first Kerry man since Mick O'Dwyer, actually, to win 3 All-Irelands. 2004, 06 and 09. Brendan Keeley has come in for some criticism in terms of his dealing of high balls dropping in around the square, but his shot blocking has been quite good. And I'm pretty sure Down will want to test him. Benny Coulter is fouled. Kerry man down injured off camera. Looks like Micheál Quirk. That's not the first time, that's the second time I've seen him on the deck and in a little bit of trouble. Micheál Quirk from Kieran O'Rahilly's club in Tralee came on for Anthony Marr against Limerick and scored a point. He's shaken off a calf injury actually to start here today. This is what happened as he went up here. Seemed to fall awkwardly. Oh, he collided with Donncha Walsh. Picked up a head injury there.
Yeah, he had, I suppose, a difficult enough start where he lost a couple of balls in possession and turned the ball over and gave Dundee opportunities to open up their scoring. But he's come into the game very well since then. That belt in the side of the head won't do him any good, but I thought certainly in a period there, I'd say between the 10th and the 27th minute, he was outstanding around the middle.
This is just what happened. Just colliding with Donncha Walsh there, see, total accident. He's fine, he's made of sturdy stuff. Good sportsman, Micheál Quirk. Another free for Martin Clark. This one's going to drop in a little bit short. No touch, wide ball. Just in terms of the top scorer, by the way, in the championship so far, that falls to John Doyle of Kildare, with a goal and 35 points coming into this match. Brendan Keeling added to. Plenty of down footballers there. One of them is Martin Clark. Goes down on it, lays it off to his captain Ambrose Rogers. Back to Clark. Kevin McKernan showing well at centre half back. Formed at wing back in the championship match against Tyrone. Nice ball inside for John Clark. Nice turn. There's a jersey pull. Clearly to be seen. Joe McQuillan blows his whistle, and it's a free in for Down.
Yeah, Tommy Griffin surprisingly that time very far off John Clark, pulls him just there by the jersey, and McQuillan has no option but to give a free in. But it's interesting, the springboard for the little comeback over the last couple of moments for Down has been provided by them winning the last 3 Kerry kickouts.
Mark Poland taking this free. He walks away confidently. The job is done. He was on the under-21 team, Mark Poland, that lost the All-Ireland final to Galway in 2005 when Shawnee Armstrong, who I met actually at the Galway races during the week, and Micheál Meehan, Michael Meehan, went on a rampage, scoring rampage. 5 years later, it's Down that's in the All-Ireland quarter-final. Mark O'Shea, Footballer of the Year 3 years ago. Ball into space for Darren O'Sullivan. He won't make that. Sideline ball for Down. And the pendulum of possession and superiority has swung back to Down at the moment.
Very much so. Kerry have got somewhat ragged again in the last 5 minutes or so. They're not finding their men with balls, and again those balls out to the sideline aren't helping them at all.
Added to by Martin Clark. Oh, Danny Hughes just about it, and well, your luck is in. It falls to Mark Poland. Danny Hughes is back outside. Thought about giving the pass. Tom O'Sullivan chases after Mark Poland. That is brilliant football. He's a man on form. That is a goal and 2 points. And it all started with Danny Hughes pursuing a ball, just about making it, giving it to Poland, hitting it this time on his left. Brilliant.
Wonderful bit of work that time by Hughes. Great bit of perseverance, flick to Poland. I thought for a moment Poland had fouled the ball. I don't think he did. And again took a great point.
By the way, Kerry haven't scored since the 21st minute. And if you look at your television screens, that is all of 12, almost 13 minutes ago. Clear push in the back by Darren O'Sullivan. Brilliant opening 13 minutes by Kerry, by Down I should say. Another next 12, 13 minutes by Kerry, and now it's back again to Down.
Down will be very happy with the way things have evolved, because at a stage I thought they were going out of it completely. Interesting, they're bringing off Micheál Quirk, and I think they brought on Anthony Maher.
David Moran actually, Martin.
David Moran, right.
He's on, of course, Ogie's Moran's son Injuries, I think, are causing the problems for Micheál Quirk, and he's a huge loss. Now, David Moran is a good footballer from his same club, actually, Kieran O'Rahilly's in Tralee, and scored a point in the Munster final against Limerick. Now, let's see what Down can do with this particular attack. Ambrose Rogers' kick. The umpire looks like he's going to give a 45 here, and that's their fourth 45. Benny Coulter and Aidan O'Mahony can afford a smile. I'm not too sure that was a 45.
Well, I thought myself that Aidan O'Mahony got the last touch on it that time. Just watch it here. He
did.
Yeah.
Going for a quick ball. Backfires Dan Gordon from Loughlin Island. Inside fires Calum King. Chasing after this, Declan O'Sullivan. One Kerry man, two Down lads. Coming across is Colm Cooper. Tried to chip it up. Back there. Chipping it up is Kevin McKernan from Byrne. Brings in his goalkeeper, Brendan McVeigh from Unreact. Loughlin Island, Dan Gordon. Back to Kevin McKernan. And Down look very comfortable at the moment. Conor Garvey. Crossfield ball. Kerry haven't scored for almost 15 minutes. Brian Sheehan. Colm Cooper is around the goals. David Moore to lay it off quickly. Martin Clark, look where he is. He's number 15, top of the left. Took a hefty challenge there from Colm Cooper. And it's Calum King. Goes for the long ball. Aidan O'Mahony unable to grab it first time. Danny Hughes. Good defending by Tom O'Sullivan. Which way will Pat McEnany wave his flag? It looks like he's giving it to Down. And it's Benny Coulter that's going to take it.
Just watch the work rate here of Marty Clark. Normally, as I said, listed at corner forward, but he's getting up and down the field. His Australian rules experience probably standing to him, but he's playing very effectively for Down.
Benny Coulter dropping this one in, but it's a poor effort by him. He's the only forward that didn't score against Sligo, which is hard to believe, really, because he's such a really, really good talent. 37 minutes played in Croke Park. Jack O'Connor rightly looks at his watch and asks, where did those 37 minutes go? It's in fact a yellow card. It looked like the referee was blowing the half-time whistle. He's shown a yellow card. Looks like to Mike McCarthy, but we're not too sure about that. We'll confirm it in a moment. I think that's why Jack O'Connor was looking at his watch. So we're into injury time here. Brendan Keeley going to take the kick out. Pretty sure the referee is going to blow the half-time whistle now. No, he's not. Up goes Ambrose Rogers. There's a bit of a struggle. There's silly stuff going on here. Donegal Walsh trying to pull away Declan Rooney. All unnecessary. Still down on the deck is Ambrose Rogers.
Yeah, he got a very hard knock that time. Not sure if it was Declan O'Sullivan came into him, hit him with his knee in the head. That was a very hard knock he took.
And now the referee blows the half-time whistle. Well, what about that for a first half in Croke Park? Is it possible that the trend that started in 1960 will continue and that Kerry could possibly fail to beat Down in this All-Ireland quarter-final in their 5th championship meeting? Are the All-Ireland champions in trouble? Mark Poland scored a goal and 2 points in a half-time score of Down 1-7, Kerry 4 points. Much to talk about, much to debate. Michael.
Yes, that sequence has continued for a half of this match anyway, whatever happens in the final analysis of it. Quick word from one of our panellists here, from Pat Spillane. Pat, Kerry, a bit of work to do.
Yeah, it's quite possible. He said it's probable, actually, the way they're playing at the moment. They went the first 13.5 minutes without scoring, Kerry, the last 16 minutes without scoring, so their 4 points was in a 5-minute spell. That was it. Down started well, got the start they wanted, 1-3 to no score up after 13 minutes. They're sharper, they're hungrier, and you can see they've been playing matches over the last 3 or 4 weekends. Kerry have had a break for a month, and certainly Kerry have been off the pace in this game. A half-forward line non-existent, dependent on Gooch and Donaghy. and that's about it. It's been a very great display by Down, poor display by Kerry, and OK, Kerry people will argue about, I mean, a goal that was disallowed that should not have been disallowed, but we'll talk about that later.
We will talk about that later. We're going to take a short break right now, though. Back shortly with more from our studio panel. Welcome back again to the programme. Half-time in this afternoon's football quarter-final between Kerry and Down. Down leading 1 goal and 7 points to 4 points. Joe Bradley, Colin Rourke, Pat Spillane here with me in the studio. I think, Colin, the most impressive thing about that first half from a Down point of view was they got the ideal start. Then Kerry started to get a grip of the game, but Down then steadied themselves once again to finish well in the half.
Absolutely. It's been good for the game that Down got to start, because after 10 minutes Kerry took a sort of an iron grip on proceedings, and I think at 8 or 9 kickouts in a row that they won, and a statistic came up with about 60-something% possession to Kerry at that time, and it looked as if they were going to steamroll them, but they just haven't been able to get those easy scores. Brian Sheehan has missed a few, and then Down struck back in the last 7 or 8 minutes, and of course Marty Clark has been the dominant personality of the game, and he helped steady Down, worked all over the pitch and got the possession they needed. But of course the disallowed goal is the crucial thing, a perfect goal which is disallowed, which would have really put Kerry in the driving seat.
Look at that in a moment, but let's look at the goal that was allowed. Joe Bradley, this was we were barely sitting in our seats when this hit the onion sack, as they say.
Well, you know, their forwards have a lot of composure, and that axis of Clark and Poland and McComiskey has worked very, very well for them. Poland is young, but he's a terrific finisher, and he played with great aplomb and confidence, and this is a hallmark of Down teams when they come to Croke Park. He's very relaxed. It's not an easy finish by any means. He makes his mind up he's going to stick it in the net. He takes a look at the keeper, does everything right. Beautifully taken, and you know, the perfect start for Down.
Pat, you were shook by that one.
I mean, what you're looking at here is Kerry slow hand passing out of defence, cotton possession, and then Tom O'Sullivan there, I thought, when the hand pass came in towards Poland, I thought it was Tom O'Sullivan's ball. You know, he flung himself at it.
An audacious foot pass too from McComiskey.
Poor defending, but a fantastic goal, Michael. No arguments. Brilliant goal.
Let's look at that other goal that wasn't Colin. This was the Kerry goal.
Yeah, well, Kerry were beginning to put good passing movements together, and 2 Down backs went for a ball there and left Gooch, and instead of taking the easy point, gives inside to Donncha Walsh, and a quick hand pass to Killian Young, which would have left them. Now I know the Down backs have pulled up, but a clear striking action. Like, most of the decisions in this game have gone Down's way, so it'll fuel Kerry's sense of injustice. But like,
I'm not sure about that, Paul. I disagree with that.
That's a very obvious hand pass. It's not one that's even debatable. And you look at it, well, you know, in fairness, the Down backs stood still.
I've talked about traffic wardens being sent in instead of referees, and he is the classic traffic warden. I mean, the man is a complete menace, you know, and that was a very, very vital decision. I mean, Down are clearly, in the first half, the better team. There's no doubt about that.
Michael,
but I mean, that was a terrible, terrible decision, and he was right on top of it.
Just again, just come back to, I mean, again, and we've said this earlier in the season, is the referee not put in a very difficult situation by the fiddliness of some of the rules?
How can he be sure? How can he be sure that there's no striking action there when
how can he be sure there is? I mean,
come on, you don't. That's not how you work.
Michael, I know, being a Kerry person, I'd be accused of bias and say that, but I like to call things as I see it. I mean, at the start of the year, for the first couple of weeks, we were criticising all this thing because the referees were blowing for hand passes, which in our opinion were clearly striking hand passes. Now, somewhere along the line, they had a meeting with the referees and they said, look, lads, unless it's a blatant fucking throw, we'll leave everything go. For the last 2 months, everything has been left go until suddenly, out of the blue, Joe McQuillan pulls the rabbit from the hat and blows, which was a clear striking action by Donncha Walsh. What's crazy in a way, I'm always taking about this ticking the boxes.
But he likes, Pat, likes to be the centre of attention.
But just before that, Kevin McKernan had taken 2 fellas out in 2 late tackles, and he didn't even get a yellow card. Now, it might cost Kerry the game. Now, Down with the better team. You know, they're more clinical in possession, but that was a really, really wrong decision.
OK, let's look at a more positive aspect, Joe Bradley, of this game, the performance of Martin Clark for one. The Down forwards generally, but Martin Clark, he scored a lovely point.
I've seen him 3 times in the league this year, and I thought on each occasion the man has no doubt sort of touched with a bit of greatness, and he knows how to influence a game just by moving the ball along, his positional sense, and You know, his general composure. I mean, here's a very, very good example of it. Just wait to see the time he takes. He scans his options, very tight angle. But if you'd seen it from our angle, it was beautifully taken. You know, and he doesn't hang around in the ball. You'll never see him being blocked down or anything like that. His movement's been excellent. Back into the defence. He goes at the right time to the right position. He's just blessed with that natural ability that ordinary footballers aren't blessed with.
And this is good work here by Mark Poland as well.
This was great work rate, and this was a great score, you know. But actually, just go back to the last score by Martin Clark. Yeah. In the two passes that led up to Clark's point, there was two far more blatant throwing actions rather than the one that Donegal Walsh had been put up with. But look, Down are working harder, they're more clinical, and that was a fantastic score.
OK, we're headed for another break here on the programme. Back with the second half of Kerry versus Down straight after that. Now, let me just remind you that later here on the Saturday Game Live, we have the second of this year's All-Ireland Football Quarter-Finals. That's the game between Tyrone and Dublin, and that is scheduled to get underway at 4 o'clock. And indeed, let's get some thoughts on that match right now from former Dublin All-Star Coleman Goggins, and he's with Claire McNamara.
Yes, Michael, and the sun is shining on us again here, thankfully, at Croke Park. Coleman, you actually pulled Tyrone out of the hat in the draw, not the one that the Dubs would have wanted.
No, there was a couple of text messages come in after that one, Claire. Yeah, a difficult draw, in fairness, if you look at it. I mean, Dublin are looking to reach a semi-final for the first time in 3 years, whereas Tyrone are looking for third on the spin, which was started off with an All-Ireland win back in 2008. So it's probably a big step up in class for Dublin. It'll be interesting to see. Weather conditions not great with a slippy surface. It'll be interesting to see how Dublin adapt to a big test and a real question of their character, I suppose.
Pat Gilroy has been rebuilding his team. What have you thought of them as they've made their way through the qualifiers?
I suppose 5 or 6 weeks ago there wasn't too many people who would have thought we'd have been coming into an All-Ireland quarter-final. They've certainly done well via the backdoor route with the couple of wins they've got and a bit of momentum behind them, but arguably you'd question some of the opposition around the skills and the levels that they have, whereas you come up against Tyrone now, you're dealing with a serious experienced bunch of guys. So really what Dublin will be hoping for, I suppose, is to keep things tight for the first 10-15 minutes and get a foothold in the game. Can't really afford to allow Tyrone to get ahead of them, and hope then that around 45, 50, 55 minutes in that they're still in the game and that they might be able to push on from there.
So what's your prediction? Who will be making it through to the semis?
Look, the heart is always going to say Dublin, but I suppose the head will say that it's Tyrone's to lose, really. But if Dublin can hang in, you never know. They might just bring a big shock.
Okay, well, that's all to come, obviously, here at Croke Park. But for the moment, let's go back to you, Michael.
Yeah, as Coleman said there, that's about the size of it. And as Claire said, yes, the sun is shining at Croke Park for the moment, looking very well now again. Pat, you've got a bit of work to do to make it through to the semi-finals.
We have indeed, and I would be worried for them. I didn't see enough in that first half to suggest that they're going to turn it around. I think this is a team that's done a lot of mileage. There's 5 over 30s in the backs, and they really have to raise their game. They're getting nothing at all. Like, they don't seem to know how to do with the down sweeper. The Kerry half-hour line are absolutely non-existent. They've had no score.
Is that like a Paul Galvin now again?
It's absolutely. You know, it's absolutely. And you know what you have in the half-hour line are runners. They're lads who like to carry the ball. They're carrying the ball, and by the time they get to release the ball, it's bad ball into Donny. Oh, jeez, he's running into cul-de-sacs and whatever. And whatever few balls are given into Kieran Donny, they're 50-50 ball. Dan Gordon is breaking, and they have the sweeper in collecting.
Well, I think the point I was making before the game about small players being suited by wet conditions, it was valid there. The likes of McComiskey and Marty Clark is big enough, but Daniel Hughes
McComiskey's a great example of it.
And Mark Poland have done very well. Now the ground is drying out, things are going to suit Kerry, but the likes of Declan O'Sullivan and Donaghy haven't been in the game at all. You know, it's a big test for an ageing Kerry team. They haven't the 5th Cavalry in the subs like they normally have to bring on. David Moran is on. And apart from Barry John Keane, there's hardly anybody that you would say in the Kerry subs who are going to make an appreciable difference to the game. So it's going to have to be a massive effort. Now, they're capable of doing this, you know, their own personal pride will dictate that they're going to surge forward, I'd say, from the backs from now on.
Kerry, I'm still waiting for Down.
Well, when you've got treacherous underfoot conditions like that, it's much more difficult to score. 6 points is a very, very sizable lead. When you've got 2...
With your passion, no one can stop you.
Now, let me just remind you that later here on the Saturday Game Live, we have the second of this year's All-Ireland Football Quarter-Finals. That's the game between Tyrone and Dublin, and that is scheduled to get underway at 4 o'clock. And indeed, let's get some thoughts on that match right now from former Dublin All-Star Coleman Goggins, and he's with Claire McNamara.
Yes, Michael, and the sun is shining on us again here, thankfully, at Croke Park. Coleman, you actually pulled Tyrone out of the hat in the draw, not the one that the Dubs would have wanted.
No, there was a couple of text messages come in after that one, Claire. Yeah, a difficult draw, in fairness, if you look at it. I mean, Dublin are looking to reach a semi-final for the first time in 3 years, whereas Tyrone are looking for third on the spin, which was started off with an All-Ireland win back in 2008. So it's probably a big step up in class for Dublin. It'll be interesting to see. Weather conditions not great with a slippy surface. It'll be interesting to see how Dublin adapt to a big test and a real question of their character, I suppose.
Pat Gilroy has been rebuilding his team. What have you thought of them as they've made their way through the qualifiers?
I suppose 5 or 6 weeks ago there wasn't too many people who would have thought we'd have been coming into an All-Ireland quarter-final. They've certainly done well via the backdoor route with the couple of wins they've got and a bit of momentum behind them, but arguably you'd question some of the opposition around the skills and the levels that they have, whereas you come up against Tyrone now, you're dealing with a serious experienced bunch of guys. So really what Dublin will be hoping for, I suppose, is to keep things tight for the first 10-15 minutes and get a foothold in the game. Can't really afford to allow Tyrone to get ahead of them, and hope then that around 45, 50, 55 minutes in that they're still in the game and that they might be able to push on from there.
So what's your prediction? Who will be making it through to the semis?
Look, the heart is always going to say Dublin, but I suppose the head will say that it's Tyrone's to lose, really. But if Dublin can hang in, you never know. They might just bring a big shock.
Okay, well, that's all to come, obviously, here at Croke Park. But for the moment, let's go back to you, Michael.
Yeah, as Coleman said there, that's about the size of it. And as Claire said, yes, the sun is shining at Croke Park for the moment, looking very well now again. Pat, you've got a bit of work to do to make it through to the semi-finals.
We have indeed, and I would be worried for them. I didn't see enough in that first half to suggest that they're going to turn it around. I think this is a team that's done a lot of mileage. They're 5 over 30s in the backs, and they really have to raise their game. They're getting nothing at all. Like, they don't seem to know how to do with the down sweeper. The Kerry half-hour line are absolutely non-existent. They've had no score.
Is this like a Paul Galvin now again?
It's absolutely. It's absolutely. And you know what you have in the half-hour line are runners. They're lads who like to carry the ball. They're carrying the ball, and by the time they get to release the ball, it's bad ball into Donny. Oh, jeez, he's running into cul-de-sacs and whatever. And whatever few balls are given into Kieran Donny, they're 50-50 ball. Dan Gordon is breaking, and they have the sweeper in collecting.
Well, I think the point I was making before the game about small players being suited by wet conditions, it was valid there. The likes of McComiskey and Marty Clark is big enough, but Daniel Hughes
McComiskey's a great example of it.
And Mark Poland have done very well. Now the ground is drying out, things are going to suit Kerry, but the likes of Declan O'Sullivan and Donaghy haven't been in the game at all. You know, it's a big test for an ageing Kerry team. They haven't the 5th Cavalry in the subs like they normally have to bring on. David Moran is on. And apart from Barry John Keane, there's hardly anybody that you would say in the Kerry subs who are going to make an appreciable difference to the game. So it's going to have to be a massive effort. Now, they're capable of doing this, you know, their own personal pride will dictate that they're going to surge forward, I'd say, from the backs from now on.
Kerry, I was still waiting for Down.
Well, when you've got treacherous underfoot conditions like that, it's much more difficult to score. 6 points is a very, very sizable lead. When you've got 2 free takers of the calibre of Martin Clark and Ambrose Rogers, I mean, Down just need to keep ticking over. It's the best opportunity that they'll ever have, you know. And, you know, as things stand at the moment, you would have to fancy them.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Colin Burke, they have a great chance here.
They certainly have. Everything is in Down's favour.
He's gone to midfield.
No, Donny's midfield now.
He's gone to midfield.
Well, he's standing around the mid, so presumably that's going to be a tactic then, Patrick.
But this is robbing Peter to pay Paul now. I mean, remember Kerry's tactics for the last number of years have revolved around Donny as the pivot at full forward. So now with Donny in midfield, which he will win primary possession, but it means that the only fellow who's probably going to provide the scores is Gooch, and to a lesser extent, hopefully, Declan O'Sullivan.
James is taking his time there, but he has no runners-up medal to smash against anything.
The likelihood, though, I can't understand. Normally, you would expect a Kerry team to put their best fielder to the middle of the field for the throw-in to just get possession, and he can go back into full forward. So I would say that that's what they will do with Donaghy. Hopefully, he get the ball and get Kerry moving.
A massive sigh of relief for Down if Kieran Donaghy's brought to the middle of the field, because it illustrates to Down that they're having a severe impact on Kerry's confidence. And I mean, the whole purpose of the Kerry enterprise is Kieran Donaghy on the edge of the square with Cooper playing off him.
But you know, Colm quoted that statistic after 18 minutes. Kerry had 62% possession, and they were 4 points down. And why were they 4 points down? Because they weren't using the possession wisely. And you know, when there's a sweeper, the likes of Declan O'Sullivan, them should be trying maybe for long-range shots, or should be providing an attacking option. But they're not providing an attacking option.
The other thing we haven't seen with Kerry, we haven't seen Mark O'Shea or Mike McCarthy, who normally surge forward at different times and score points. And I would say that Jack O'Connor's instructions now will be, you have to get forward to help out the forward line.
I thought you were going to say that one of the things we rarely see with Kerry, apart from against Tyrone when they didn't respond, is how they respond in the face of real adversity. This rarely has happened to Kerry over the last decade. Now we'll see what they're made of in the second half. Hold on a second.
It happened in the two Cork games.
You can complain about 3 or 4 players missing, but I never heard Tyrone or any of those teams complaining about it. You know, this is a severe test of Kerry's mettle.
No doubt about that. Time to head back to the commentary box to rejoin Marty Morrissey and Martin Carney.
Thank you very much, Michael. Yes, interesting change in strategy here, as you were highlighting there in your discussion. The fact that Kieran Donaghy is now at midfield. Interesting, even more interesting, is David Moran, big, tall, strapping lad from Tralee, is at corner forward, and Declan O'Sullivan is full forward. That's where they're starting. I'm sure they're going to interchange a lot, but it's interesting that particularly that Star, as they affectionately call him in Kerry, is in the middle of the field with Seamus Scanlon. Referee Joe McQuillan about to start the second half. Down have not been in an All-Ireland semi-final since 1994, when they last won the All-Ireland. 16 years. It's a long, long time for the people of Down. Nice pick-up by Paul McComiskey. Good ball inside, and Jay's out, according to the referee. Referee's whistle clearly blowing again. Nice take by McComiskey, Martin.
Yeah, and Thomas Sullivan pulls him by the jersey. I thought the referee could have let him go that time. He had a clear run and goals. Goal was on, I think, had he been allowed to continue. But the referee's beside it has given him a free in.
Let's watch this again. A little bit severe by the referee, to be honest with you. He should have allowed him to continue on. Martin Clark takes the free and takes the point. 3 points from Marty Clark on a misty and at times sunny afternoon, and thankfully it's the latter at the moment.
Yes, there's another change that's quite significant from a Kerry point of view. They put Mark O'Shea out centre half back at the moment, and Marty Clark is actually playing centre half forward for Down.
7 points between the teams. In case by any chance of a fluke you haven't been watching the Saturday game live, we've had a very impressive performance by Down, and make no mistake about it, the All-Ireland champions are in trouble in Croke Park. Taking too many steps, Benny Coulter. There's a tussle off camera, and it's continuing on behind the referee. Still going on as we go back live. Here's David Moran with the action, trying to get inside. There's a free in. Now it will be very interesting, Martin, if the linesman inform the referee, because 2 more players should be shown yellow at least. Longford official, Monaghan official doing the sideline today, so they should be telling them exactly what's been going on. That's Pat McEnany, of course, and Derek Fahey.
Well, I think both are in communication with the referee at the moment. I notice they're on their mics to him, and I think the referee is going over to Derek Fahey.
Yes, the referee is going to check. This is what was going on behind the scenes and behind the football action. Bob Donica Walsh. And it looked like the right half back, Declan Rooney. So the referee is going to show a yellow card to those 2 players. Now that means, just for clarification purposes, that the entire Kerry half-forward line are all on yellow. So that means Darren O'Sullivan, Declan O'Sullivan, Donica Walsh, all on yellow. Declan Rooney of Down to number 5, the only one on yellow. As that is tapped over the bar by Colin Cooper, that's his 4th of the game. And that's Kerry's first score, by the way, since the 21st minute of the first half. That's an awful long time down in the kingdom.
It's a long time, all right, and on top of that, they're getting very little opportunity to score from play. The one guy that's interesting me at the moment is the positioning of Declan O'Sullivan at full forward. I'm convinced that if he gets low balling quickly, that he has the wherewithal to actually trouble Dan Gordon.
Well, in fact, Martin, let me add to that. Conor Garvey, left half back, has stayed with Declan O'Sullivan and is now operating at full back. Anyway, we'll continue on. Dan Gordon, as you can see, is marking David Moore. So he's now actually playing at cornerback. This is Declan O'Sullivan. Slipped along the ground, touched along the ground. Free out to Down.
Yeah, he's coming in for the ball here. Again, he's been shadowed this time by Conor Garvey, but he does pick the ball up off the ground.
Down counter-attack. Mark Poland. given a lot of space. So much space that he gave the wrong option, because Benny Coulter was gone inside unmarked, and that for once was a bad choice by Mark Boland, who really has been most impressive in the first half. And again, just in case you've joined us, he scored a goal and 2 points in the opening half. Mike McCarthy. Seamus Scanlon is inside him. He's going for the big kick inside towards Colm Cooper. Anybody's ball here. Getting a touch and picking it up is David Moore. Back to the Gooch. All the way back first Brian Sheehan to Seamus Scanlon. What are the options available? Retaining possession is the priority. Declan O'Sullivan. No foul. Yes, a foul, says the referee. Conor Garvey was doing his best to make sure that he gave the visual impression that he wasn't fouling O'Sullivan. Now, who was holding on to whom there, Mark?
Well, that's clever play by Declan O'Sullivan that time. I think he uses his elbow to tuck in Conor Garvey's arm underneath him and manufactures that free in, but it gives Sheehan an opportunity to put another one over the bar.
Just outside the down 45-metre line. Dead straight in front of the post. Hits him well. Over the bar. That's his second in this All-Ireland quarter-final.
Yeah, what's interesting about the Kerry bench actually this year, it's a way less formidable than it has been in the past. And even bringing in David Moore into the corner forward position today is playing him in a position, I believe myself, that is not natural to him. He's more of a midfielder. And that's more of an indication of the lack of depth that Kerry have on their bench.
Huge crowd developing here in Croke Park to see the remainder of this game, and of course the Dublin-Tyrone match that's coming up live here on the Saturday game. Throw in, and that one is 4 o'clock. And what about this? We're down. Going to have the shot with the championship. On the turn, Paul McComiskey. Sunshine or rain, the man has talent and huge scoring potential. Diagonal ball to McComiskey, no hanging about, no messing about, has a lash, good score, and they love it.
Yeah, and Tom O'Sullivan won't love that. A little bit loose once again. But just going back to that scoring, it arose from the fact that Down won a dirty ball around the middle of the field, probably in a situation whereby if Galvin were playing, he would have actually won it.
Sideline ball for Down. Just for your information at home, by the way, Down have scored, as you can see top of your screen, a goal and 9 points. That is 1-5 from play, which is quite an impressive statistic. Kerry have scored 6 points and only 2 from play. Conor Garvey goes long. Mark Poland judged to have been fouling his marker, so it's a free for Kerry. Mike McCarthy. Brian Sheehan into the space. Declan O'Sullivan on the turn. He's taking too much out of this one. That ball is wide. That is Kerry's 6th wide of the game. Brendan McVeigh has been busy taking the kickouts, wondering what can he do, Jack O'Connor. Beside him is Ger O'Keefe. The statistics show 6 wides for Kerry, 5 for Down. That's even enough, but on the scoreboard there is still a 6-point difference. It's substantial. Added beautifully by Danny Hughes to Marty Clark. Ball inside. Brendan Keeley has to come off his line. Lays it on far as Mark O'Shea, playing in his 58th championship match. 8 years at Kerry senior football. Seamus Scanlon over this side, Aidan O'Mahony through the middle, Brian Sheehan. The Gooch wants it diagonally. Declan O'Sullivan, Conor Garvey right beside him. Colm Cooper. Declan O'Sullivan has gone inside. Lovely hop, lovely turn, great score. Is that the beginning of the comeback? It's Colm Cooper's 5th point. what beautiful balance. Left or right footed, it always seems to work for the Gooch.
Yeah, the quality though of the crossfield ball that time gave the advantage to Cooper. He took it with aplomb. It's interesting, they're bringing off Seamus Scanlon. That's again, I think, the second or third game in a row that they've replaced both their first choice midfielders.
So Seamus Scanlon is off. Micheál Quirke was injured. So dramatic change in midfield. And the loss, may I say, of Dara O'Shea. I know he can't go there forever and ever, but they just seem to have huge problems there now. When you consider that Kieran Donaghy has to move from full forward out to midfield. Barry John Keane from Cairnrahaligs, third member from that club, now on the field of action. And here he is. This lad is a good footballer now, if you haven't seen him before. Well marshalled this time. High challenge by Donegal Walsh. And remember, Donegal Walsh is already on a yellow card. Remember that at the start of the second half. Our Kerry about to be reduced to 14 players. Referee Joe McQuillan from Caelan, County Cavan is the referee. He shows a yellow card for the second time to Walsh, and Kerry are reduced to 14 players. Trouble, big trouble for the All-Ireland champions 2009. Did you ever feel this is not going to be their day?
Just watch it, he comes in here, catches him around the neck, didn't go in with any great viciousness or anything like that, but certainly caught him high. It is a yellow card offence. As it is a second, the red card has to follow. That's tough luck on Kerry and tough luck on Donegal Walsh.
Handling by Ben Coulter, disappointing for him. Long ball by Kieran Donaghy up towards Colm Cooper. Is he held? He is, says the referee, and that's a free in. Damien Rafferty name is going to be taken because the boots fell off here as well in this particular exchange. Wondering what to do next. The three selectors of Kerry, Eamon Fitzmaurice, Ger O'Keefe, Jack O'Connor, they have lots of problems in lots of areas at the moment.
They have, and one of the things though that might actually inspire them is that in the past, teams who have gone down to 14 men are the people who get inspired by the event rather than inhibited by it. And maybe this is the event that will actually resurrect Kerry because they've been asleep today.
Wee James McCartan, as he's affectionately called. He's certainly planned this game very well so far. From the Burn in County Down, from Killarney, the Gooch. And as normal, we're heading towards our programme and indicating that's a point. A Gooch fan in Croke Park. One day hoping to wear the Kerry jersey, no doubt. 4 points between the teams. Quick ball out far as Damien Rafferty. Remember, down with numerical advantage with the sending off of Donegal Walsh. Daniel Hughes under pressure, has to go long towards John Clark. Did really well to win that. Lays it back for his Marty Clark, brother to brother. They're queuing up over in the middle. One of them is Kevin McKernan. Back to Clark. Thought about having a go. Under pressure from Tommy Griffin. Lays it off as Paul McComiskey. Scored 2 points. Has Down retained possession. Over for his Danny Hughes again from Sava. Looks at the post. And that ball is wide. 6 wides for Down in this match. 6 wides for Kerry. 4 point advantage for the Ulster boys.
That was a clever piece of play by Down that time. Okay, maybe they're going laterally, but they're holding possession. They're making Kerry work twice as hard, and with the extra man that Down have at the moment, it's a tactic you should try and repeat and try and get the extra man on the end of the move and take scores from there.
Change in the Down lineup. Conor McGinn is coming on, and he's going to come on around the midfield area, around the half-forward line. Darren O'Sullivan looks to be going off as well for Kerry, and coming on is Kieran O'Leary from Dr. Crooks. winning ball, Benny Coulter. Managed to squeeze it back for his Marty Clark. Paris McComiskey, he's good on the right foot. Now has it got the accuracy? It's going to drop wide. 7 wides for Down.
Yeah, great pressure that time exerted by Mark O'Shea, and that ball, I think a lot of Down fans were calling for it to be signalled a point, but the umpire's in a good position. It just drifts wide at the last moment.
Still loads of time here for Kerry to recover. Kieran Donaghy goes long. It's 2 against 2 here. The defenders had to be assertive, and they were. Ambrose Rogers. Conor McGinn is available to his right. He's a substitute just on from Bryansford. Calum King. Mark Poland. Kevin McKernan. Dan Gordon lays it off. Diagonal ball is aimed towards McComiskey. Danny Hughes gets there first. He's over the line. There's a push on the back. Free in for Down. Quickly taken by Martin Clark. Benny Coulter. Will he take on? And he will. Aidan O'Mahony cutting it inside. Paul McComiskey. And the referee has blown his whistle. And he's given a free out. Goal not allowed for a foul throw. Drama in Croke Park in the first of our quarter-finals 2010. Good defending by Kevin McKernan. Down celebrated, but down at the Hill 16 end for the second time in this All-Ireland quarter-final, a goal has been disallowed. 1 for Kerry in the first half, 1 for Down in the second half. And Kerry respond. It's 2 against 1 here. Right man, right place. Gooch to Donaghy. Brilliant save by Brendan McVeigh. Loads of excitement in Croke Park in this All-Ireland quarter-final. McVeigh rescues, denies Kieran Donaghy. Down at the other end, this looked like a legitimate goal. Coulter fed it in. Was that a throw?
Definitely a throw. I think Coulter fouled that ball definitely that time. Great support play by Comiskey. Unlucky maybe to have had it disallowed, but the foul definitely I thought was on the part of Coulter in an incorrect hand pass.
Paul McComiskey is telling the umpires down at that end, that's Jimmy Galligan and TP Gray, to look at the big screen, I think. Meanwhile, it's another point for Kerry.
You just take this save, I think once again we'll see it coming up. Wonderful piece of combination by both Donaghy and Cooper. Cooper just, you know, such a moocher. Wonderful awareness. Dinky little hand pass over to Donaghy. Probably kept it that little bit too high, but great awareness by Brendan McVeigh to toss it out for a 45.
Now, character Down going to be tested because the All-Ireland champions are back in business here. Despite trailing on the scoreboard, trailing in terms of numerical disadvantage, Kieran Donaghy will be shown a yellow card here as well for this challenge. And referee Joe McQuillan is right on the business here. Challenge on Conor Garvey.
Well, that was cynical and that was ill-disciplined, and that definitely warrants a yellow card. Lucky not to have got a red card, actually.
So Kieran Donaghy confirmed yellow card. There was a little bit of a follow-through, Martin, and I think you're lucky that he might just be very lucky to be still on the field. We might see it in a moment.
Well, I thought the initial tackle actually was a cynical one, and I felt myself it was lucky to have got away with just a yellow card.
It's 12 minutes since Down scored in this All-Ireland quarter-final. Referee is looking for a blood substitute for Kerry. It looks like Aidan O'Mahony has picked up an injury. There's confirmation of the clock ticking. Just a little bit of medical attention for Aidan O'Mahony. First championship appearance, of course, this year since his self-imposed exile. Crucial kick for Marty Clark. Dropping it in. Whoops, it's still there, still alive. Tom O'Sullivan managed to scramble it out. And Kieran Donaghy ends up with the ball. Tommy Griffin coming out from fullback, freed from the shackles of that responsibility. David Moran goes long. Barry John Keane knocked away this time by Daniel McCarthy. Is that an illegal challenge? I would have thought so until Killian Young. The referee has blown his whistle, free to the kingdom. Kieran Donaghy looking at various options. Let's just watch this again.
He definitely knees him in the back that time, on the back of the leg. Lucky enough to get away with just the yellow card.
Harmless enough though, Martin, to be honest.
It was harmless, but at the same time it's an aggressive action.
Backfield Donaghy. Down, bring that intensity back to the table again. Barry John Keane looking around. Look at that. That's what I mean. 3-4 players around. They can sniff, they can smell the victory perhaps. Still plenty of time. 15 minutes to go. Declan Rooney from the Byrne Club. Marty Clark. Very influential, I must say. And far more impressive than when I saw him against Tyrone and Paceman Park in the Ulster Championship. Ambrose Rogers taking a little bit too much out of it. Paul McComiskey back to Clark again, making himself available. Needs a little bit of support. It's available and it's there in the shape and form of Kevin McKernan. Ambrose Rogers down, calming things down, making sure they retain control. Daniel McCarthy, captain of the Queen's University team that won the Sigerson 3 years ago, and it's McCarthy again, giving it long. Back from suspension, his first start was against Sligo. Wonderful catch perhaps here by Benny Coulter, and just for a moment there was anxiety in Kerry. Daniel Bohan, as you can see, is on. Tom O'Sullivan needs to let it go far as Tommy Griffin from Dingle. Umdanga, a challenge, an illegal one. Looks like there's going to be another yellow card for that illegal challenge. The referee calling him in as we watch the anxious moments down at the other end. Caleb King, big number 9 from Bryansford, being shown a yellow card. Down introduce Ronan Murtagh. Remember, he had a sensational introduction against Sligo. It was really impressive, and he's coming on for Paul McComiskey. Yeah, and Ronan Murtagh add a bit of scoring power to that down attack. Just for clarification, Aidan Mahoney is back on, having received some medical attention along the sideline. Benny Coulter. Back to Marty Clark again. To Coulter. Slipping one through. Nice ball. Mark Poland had a dramatic first half. Lays it off. Chance here for down. And Croke Park is alive to red and black flags. Well worked. Good composure. Patient build-up. Good finish.
Yeah, that's a lovely score from Conor McGinn, who's just been recently introduced. Lovely start for him to the game.
4-point advantage again for the men from Ulster. Kieran Donaghy unable to get both hands on the ball. Mark Poland fouled by Declan O'Sullivan. Quick ball inside, fires Daniel Hughes. Mark O'Shea with it. Marty Clark hits it on the turn. I think he'll be disappointed. 8 wides for down in this match. But they do hold a 5-point advantage, or rather 4-point advantage.
Yeah, I noticed at the moment Kieran Donaghy's complaining to the referee. He feels he's not getting adequate protection out around the middle of the park, in particular in the area of kickouts. There's a lot of heavy-duty knocking going on around there at the moment, and he's just not getting the possession maybe that he had been hoping to get.
Daniel Bohan is officially on now for Killian Young. Kerry empty their bench in an effort to try and swing the game back their way. Barry John Keane working hard. Very impressive, Kevin McKernan. Nice ball inside to Ambrose Rogers. Tried to chip, didn't work. Well worked back by Ronan Murtagh. Daniel McCarthy. Conor Garvey goes long. very long, cutting a dash, Ronan Murta. Benny Coulter wanted it inside, still Murta. Benny Coulter gets by the first challenge from Aidan O'Mahony and swings it over the bar for his second point in this All-Ireland quarter-final, and are down heading for an All-Ireland semi-final for the first time since 1994. Are they about to knock Kerry, the All-Ireland champions, the Munster champions, out of the 2010 championship? It wasn't supposed to happen.
It's unfair to write the obituary before you hear the death rattle, but at the moment Kerry are certainly looking to be on the way out.
Dan Gordon flicking it on for Danny Hughes. Not a good ball, did well. Daniel Bohan comes in to challenge. Kevin McKernan lays it off to Marty Clark, back to the centre half back. Captain Dabby, CBS and Newry to the All-Ireland Colleges title in 2006. The umpire is signalling wide. I thought Mr. Galligan, Jimmy Galligan from Killygarvey in County Cavan, was making such a run to the flag. I thought he was going to actually put it up. Ball is wide.
Yeah, but traffic is all in the one-way direction at the moment, going towards the Kerry goals. Kerry are unable to get the ball out around the middle of the park. Once again, their midfield has failed to function today.
David Moore has to go back for his Mark O'Shea. Kerry without his brother, of course, due to suspension, and Paul Galvin. Darragh O'Shea retired. Ty Kennelly, Tommy Walsh down in Australia. Huge names. 6 players from the 2009 All-Ireland winning team missing. Too much for any county. And is this the vulnerable moment for the Kingdom? 3 against 2 as down players chase everything. Great catch. Good possession.
Oh, fantastic piece of defending that time under a lot of pressure. I thought Cooper and Donaghy looked to have the advantage that time, but a superb piece of aerial domination that time by the down defence.
Kevin McKernan. Damien Rafferty lays it off quickly to big Caleb Kay. Kerry engineered something special, and only a brilliant save by McVeigh denied Kerry. The referee's whistle is blown. Conor Garvey can call a halt to the Honda 50 because he has to wheel it around and bring it back. Referee spotted a challenge, and he's given a free to Kerry. Don't know exactly what happened, but the referee's whistle had blown.
Yeah, just watch the save again. Nice layoff that time. Just watch Cooper's awareness once again. Donaghy does everything right this time. Gets it low, maybe a little bit close to the goalkeeper, but you've got to get the goalie credit. Saw that very late, I'd imagine. Fabulous save.
That's a good save, Mark.
That's top drawer. Here's another angle again, but Cooper's awareness, just something else. That's a wonderful save.
So the free for Kerry. Plenty of drama. And there's more to come on the Saturday game live. Remember, Dublin against Tyrone next. 6 minutes, there's a yellow card being shown. I'm not too sure to whom, but we'll talk about that in a moment when we get clarification. Colin Cooper stands over this. Look at the scoreline. Happy to tap this one over from about 35 metres out for his 7th point of the match. 6 points between the teams. 6 points between the teams at half-time when it was down 1-7. Kerry 4 points. For Jack O'Connor, he's thrown everything, the kitchen sink at this particular event here in Croke Park to try and win it. But you cannot afford to miss so many top-class players. And Down had everything to gain. And they're chasing it again. Calum King lays it off to Danny Hughes. Saville man screws off the boot, drops it in. Should be 2 against 1 here. Now who gets the benefit here? Daniel Bohan. Tom O'Sullivan gives it short. Fires Aidan O'Mahony. Changes hands. Free to Down. From a long way out, it looked like the All-Ireland champions were in trouble.
Yeah, they never got into the game early on. They afforded Down the bridgehead that Down required on the day. And the fact that Down were able to run up 1-3 to no score in the first 7 minutes or so gave Down the confidence and the cushion that they needed to go on and build on it. And by God, in the second half, they have really upped the ante. And since Kerry have gone down to 14 men, I mean, it just hasn't happened for Kerry.
James McCartan looking on. There's dissent, and the referee has given an extra 13 metres. Too much talking, says Joe. You talk to Joe on Liveline every day on RT Radio, but you don't talk to this Joe. Marty Clark going to take the free. 6 points, remember, between the teams. This to guarantee, not that I think there's any doubt, it's over the bar for his 4th point of the match. Can we say, with 2.5 minutes to go, 7 points between the teams, that Jack O'Connor and Kerry are not going to be in the All-Ireland semi-finals?
Well, I'd say it looks very like it now, and I didn't see history, to be honest with you, repeating it Saturday. I didn't see Down recording their 5th win over Kerry in the championship. But, you know, you have to hand it to Kerry. They have been fabulous champions. They've had players who would grace any era, but it looks as if they're on the way out.
Peter Fitzpatrick is in for Calum King, and Down go in search of more scores. Here's Benny Coulter. Knocks it on for Ronan Murta. Murta turns, it's dropping. I don't think it's going to go the right direction. It's not. That is Down's 10th wide of the match. Just a little bit over anxious to put his name on the score sheet again.
Very much so. An awful lot of teams, though, will be licking their lips at this result today. Those teams that are left in the championship.
People anticipated, though, Mark, that there was going to be a surprise, a shock. This is only the first of the All-Ireland quarter-finals. We still have Dublin against Tyrone coming your way shortly, Cork against Roscommon, and Meath against Kildare tomorrow. Where would you want to be for watching the Sunday game and watching everything that's happening here in Croke Park? And of course the Saturday game, and this is the Saturday game, and we're about to see one of the great historic victories when the All-Ireland champions are knocked out of the championship. It's an incredible statistic, but I emphasize it again. 4 times Down have played Kerry. in the championship, and not once have Kerry been able to beat Down. What is it? What is it about a Down man? They have the Indian sign over the kingdom. Ronan Murta back outside. Farrell's a man that wants to impress. Peter Fitzpatrick, Farrell's Murta, great block down by Anthony Marr. Back out first, Peter Fitzpatrick. It's dropping high, it's curling, it's going over the crossbar. Incredible.
It's incredible, but it's fully deserved. And what is it about them? They have been the more confident team, the more composed team, and away by far the more cohesive team today. They've played fabulous football. They've thrown down the gauntlet to Kerry. And Kerry, to be fair to them, without the two guys who are suspended, without the guys who they hadn't got last year, were short effectively 7 of their last year's All-Ireland winning team, it was too much of a burden for them to bear. But Down took advantage of that defect in the Kerry team, and by God, they have won it in spades.
Tremendous performance by Mark Poland. He scored a goal and 2 points this afternoon. He's off, and at this stage Down are already booking their train tickets, bus tickets, taxi tickets back to Croke Park for an All-Ireland semi-final. 8 points between the teams. Look at the team they've beaten. Kerry, Munster, All-Ireland champions. Benny Coulter deserves to play in an All-Ireland semi-final. So too does the captain, Ambrose Rogers. Bearing down on goal, hits it high, up towards Hill 16, and puts it over the bar for his second point of the game. It's a brilliant performance by Down, and unquestionably the performance of the Championship 2010.
You know, we sometimes talk about Kerry loving to get into Croke Park, but there's no doubt about it, Down feel at home here. They're inspired by getting into this place. I've never seen really a Down team inhibited, and Down, of all teams in the country, seem to be able to come out of nowhere and go on to bigger and better things. But today they're laying down a gauntlet, and by God, they could be hard to beat if they can repeat this form.
Ball is aimed at Colm Cooper. Floating one in towards Kieran Donaghy. Barry John Keane is inside. The referee has blown his penalty. He's going to give a penalty, is he? Yes, he is. A penalty to Kerry for the foul on Kieran Donaghy. There was an elbow, says Joe McQuillan. Now, was there? Dan Gordon was with him. There was a throw from Kieran Donaghy, but I think he was fouled.
He was pulled out in the first instance there. He was pulled that time, definitely. Okay, through the pass subsequently, but this is only in the consolation mode.
David Moore facing Brendan McVeigh. Moore slots it into the net, and it's a consolation prize for the Kingdom of Kerry. Hit it beautifully. No question that the keeper could reach that. We're heading into the second minute of injury time, of additional time. Call it whatever you like. The referee, Joe McQuillan, wants the football. It's Down's day in Croke Park. James McCartan has guided his team back to an All-Ireland semi-final for the first time since he played in 1994. It's a historic day for Gaelic football because once again it started in 1960, in 1961, 1968, and again 19 years ago in 1991. On each and every occasion, the men of Kerry failed to beat Down. The experts said it couldn't happen, surely for the 5th time. These boys were going for their retention of their All-Ireland title, but there might be some of the reasons. The absence of Tomás O'Shea, the absence of Paul Galvin, the retirement of the great Dara O'Shea meant that Kieran Donaghy eventually had to come out to midfield. But no matter what Kerry did today, they couldn't beat a rampant downside. They were formidable, they were passionate, they were simply brilliant.
Yeah, and credit Kerry as well. Every single Kerry man went over and shook the hands of his opponent thereafter. As I saw Mark O'Shea, Kieran Donaghy, they were great champions. They've had their day. They move off the stage now and welcome Down back again to a semi-final. They fully deserved. There was nothing fluky about it.
Great champions, Kerry. We're going to have new champions now in 2010 because Kerry have departed Croke Park at the quarter-final stage. For the 5th time in their history, Down have beaten Kerry. Full-time score. Down 116, Kerry 1.